Hey guys, Pinmaster here. Just gonna go over the UFC 209. Not gonna do a Sensei UFC per se. We're gonna go over a couple of the I don't know, some of the highlights of the fight. Alistair Overeem, Mark Hunt, first fight on the main card. Uh, First round was kind of close. Hunt was chasing. Alistair was moving. But they were both landing somewhat, but for some reason, Mark Hunt did not throw his overhand right. I think he threw one left hook, but he barely threw that overhand right. I don't think I saw him throw it once. He landed with a really good elbow, and then he started clinching and getting that elbow a lot, but he was eating too many knees to the body. I think that was starting to wear him down. I think it was the second round he came out and got kneed in the face and got knocked out. Um, but he didn't throw his overhand right. He didn't use his go-to for whatever reason. I'm not. Maybe he hurt his shoulder. Maybe he hurt his hand. I don't know why. But to me, his go-to, that's what got him there, and that's what he should have been using. I think it would have been successful. It looked like they were at the right range a few times. But then again, Alistar is such a warrior, and he landed those beautiful knees, and it took a lot out of Hunt, so who knows. Second fight, I'm not going to really talk about. Cynthia Calvillo beat Amanda Cooper in the first round. I think it was the first round. She just had such good ground. It was just crazy. Her grappling and her submission was just unbelievable. She had like double jointed, and she like got it was either a Darce or a anaconda choke, and then just turned over and got a rear choke. I mean, just it was sweet, and it looked good, and she got the choke and she won. Um, I don't know what Amanda could have done differently except try to keep it standing, but I'm sure she tried. So, as for Hunt, I think he should use his overhand right more. As for Amanda, keep it standing, but easier said than done. So, I think that one was just in the cards. Rashad Evans versus Daniel Kelly. Kelly won a decision. I think it was a good decision. Um, I think But I think if Rashad won, it would have been a good decision too. I think it was that close. I think Daniel was more of the stalker and more of the aggressor. I think Rashad was faster. They both got some good takedowns. But I don't know. I don't know what I would have done differently if it was Daniel. I think I would have put more combinations together a little more. If I was Rashad, I would have set up more takedowns, double leg takedowns, because Daniel Kelly is a judoka. I think four-time Olympian. So upper body takedowns aren't going to work as well with him. So that's what I think for that one. But I think it was a really good fight, and I would have been happy with either winning. But I don't like Rashad at 185. I think he belongs a little higher, maybe 205. Next fight I'm going to talk about Lando Venata versus David Timur. Fight of the night, unbelievable fight. If it was just on these guys' skills alone, it was just unbelievable. David had freaking unbelievable striking power. He had beautiful knees, beautiful clinching, beautiful clean technique. He's like a picture perfect kickboxer with takedowns. He also got some unbelievable takedowns, I think, in the last round, and he just showed that he is a complete fighter. He showed he has a heart, huge conditioning. I mean, that fight was nonstop. Both their conditioning was off the hook. As for Lando, he has unbelievable spinning, crazy, unorthodox techniques, along with an unbelievable chin, which I don't like the fact that he puts it out there too much and is willing to take shots, sometimes to try to discourage his opponent, or I don't know, to psych out his opponent. But he took way too many shots that he didn't have to. I mean, the kind where he drops his hands and puts his face out and just smiles when he's getting hit. I don't think he needs to do that, because he has such great technique, such beautiful spinning techniques, and just clean striking as well as beautiful takedowns. So between the two of them, great fight. David won a decision. I think it was good. I think he should have won the decision. I think Lando Venata is unbelievable. He could be a champion. He just needs to quit goofing around. When he's throwing those beautiful techniques, spinning, and that's not what I'm talking about when I'm talking about him goofing around. It's when he actually drops his hands and lets his opponent hit him and smiles. He needs not to do that. He doesn't have to do that. He's such a good fighter without that. Okay? Good decision for David. But Lando will be back, and he'll take the title if he wants. I mean, he came close to beating Tony Ferguson in his first UFC fight with 6 fights or 7 fights under his belt. I mean, he's gonna go all the way, I think, if he wants to. Last fight, Tyron Woodley against Stephen Thompson. Very slow-paced fight, like a chess match. I appreciated it, but the fans didn't. They want to see more banging, and they didn't get it in this fight. There was such a low number of strikes, it's not even funny. But they're both so good. I mean, it was like game of chess. I think that it should have been a draw. I think Tyrone should hold on to his belt. I thought Stephen won rounds 1, 2, and 4, and I think Tyrone won rounds 3 and 5. But I think round 5 was a two-point round, so I think that would have made it a draw. And Tyrone should keep his belt. But it's just, I mean, what could he have done better? I think Stephen could have thrown more combinations and gotten out. I think he should have put a little more on his combinations, maybe 3 or 4 punch combinations coming at different angles, and then always moving outside of Tyrone's right hand, which he was doing pretty well, very well. But I think he needed to create angles and go in for more combinations, then get out. I think he should have scored with a few more combinations, never more than 3 or 4 at a time, or then he was setting up. He was going to be vulnerable for the takedown. But I think just 1 at a time, maybe 2, wasn't enough. So I think that's what cost him the fight. I think he needed to do more lateral movement and more combinations. As for Tyrone, I think he needed to step it up, close off the cage, cut off the cage, work his combinations, his beautiful strikes, then get the takedown. I think throughout the fight, that would have give him more of a lead, or just cutting off, being more head movement and throwing more combinations, trying to get Stephen against the cage. So I think cutting off the cage would have been better for Tyrone. I think he could have done that. He would have won more of the rounds and more of the exchanges. And I think if Stephen cut off the angles, cut angles, and just threw quick combinations and not just 1 or 2 at a time, I think he could have maybe done better, even get the decision. That's how I feel about UFC 209. Thanks for coming. Please comment, tell me how you feel about that. Please subscribe to this website or this YouTube and share it. Thanks for coming, guys.